Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your number one news source for everything Star Wars. And first of all, let me just say I am battling a little bit of a cold today, so my voice is a little bit hoarse, so if it sounds off, that's why. And today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Star Wars Black Series 6-inch Rogue One, Chirrut Îmwe, and Baze Malbus. And these figures come packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Black Series. You've got the Star Wars Black Series logo up top. The figures are clearly displayed. Down below you have images of the characters and the name. On the sides we have the red border. The Chirrut is 36 and Baze is 37. And then on the back, we have brief bios for both characters. All right, let's get these open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside the packaging along with their other contents. Baze, first of all, they give them this little tool. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I don't recall seeing it in the movie off the top of my head, but it does look like some kind of little tool or maybe communication device. And it's done with an almost dark gray, gun gray type color. And I like the sculpting detail. And you got this little peg on here, and what it does is you've got a little slit on the back of his belt, and you can push it in there. Now, it doesn't always go in there super great, so the little peg piece is maybe a little bit bigger than the hole, so it's really kind of hard to push it in there. But once you do, it does stay on there pretty good, but you do have to kind of push hard on it to really get it in there. And then Baze also comes with his signature weapon that you see him use in the movie, and this actually breaks up into 3 different pieces. So you get the rifle piece, and this is done with a light gray, and then you've got some bronze, almost gun gray colors mixed in, and then you've got this red here on both sides. And I like the sculpting detail. It looks pretty movie accurate. And then you get this middle piece that connects the power pack and the rifle. And this is done with just a flexible type bendy plastic, so it's got a lot of flexibility to it. And then you get the power pack, and you got the little cape attached to that, and that's done with a vinyl rubber type material. And I like you've got the metallic silver, and you've got some metallic gold here on the front, and then the red. So again, looks pretty movie accurate. And then you've got the little peg here, and this just plugs into the back of the figure. And you just kind of push it in, and it fits nice and tight. And then you take this this hose piece and plug it into the bottom of the power pack. And I don't think it really matters that much which end you plug into which. I guess maybe the thicker end works a little better on the backpack like that. And then the rifle, and then you plug in to the bottom of the rifle. There's a hole there. Now, one thing I do want to note with this is there's not a lot of length to this cord piece, so it's really kind of hard. You know, you can get him to hold it as long as his arm is bent, but if you try to straighten out his arm and then do it forward, there's really not enough length to this cord piece for him to do that. So it would have been, I think, better if they had made this just a little bit longer. You can, again, if you bend the elbow, you can kind of get him into 2 handed poses and stuff. But like I said, I think it would have been better if they'd maybe made the length of this cord just a little bit longer. Now, Chirrut comes with his walking stick that you see him use in the movie to beat the crap out of stormtroopers. And I like the sculpting detail. This brown parts look like actual wood, the way they've sculpted it. Now, the paint on this is pretty basic. It's just a brown plastic. But then you've got some metallic silver here on the end and then the middle part. And it's fairly straight. This is, just kind of a soft plastic, so it might come out of the packaging a little warped, but you could take a blow dryer and straighten that out if you need to. And then you also get his weapon that you see him use in the movie, and this breaks into 2 different pieces, so you can pull it apart like that. And then it's got the 2 pieces that kind of fold down, so it almost looks like a crossbow type deal. And I like the metallic gold and the brown colors that they used on that, and then you've got a little bit of silver. So again, this looks pretty movie accurate. I don't know if it's technically made for this, but if you want, you can just kind of slide the walking stick on the back. This piece here is a separate piece, so you can just kind of slide it back there, so you can store it on his back if you want to. And he'll hold the weapon pretty good. He's got a trigger finger on his right hand, so that's the better hand to put the weapon in. So for the figures themselves, starting with Baze, I think they've done a pretty good job with the sculpting detail. The face sculpt seems to be pretty movie accurate. It's not 100%, but I think it looks pretty good overall. The eyes maybe are a little bit off, and the skin tone is a little bit pale to me, but otherwise I think they did a pretty good job. I do like the hair, the way they've sculpted the hair, and the hair is a softer rubber flexible type material. And then I like the suit. I think they've done a good job with the suit. Now this piece here is an actual separate piece, and so is the belt piece here. It's not removable or anything, but it is a separate piece, so I like that detailing. And then I like the wash effect that they put on the lighter portions of the figure and on the actual jumpsuit that he's wearing. I think that looks good, and the pockets and everything, and it looks like it's dirty as you get farther down towards his feet and everything. And he's got this piece that's sculpted on his right leg, and that's actually sculpted, and it's a hard plastic, and you got the little red. So again, I think they've done a pretty good job with this one and capturing the likeness, and the paint applications overall are pretty solid. I like the wash effect that they've done throughout the figure, so he looks kind of like he's dirty and been through a rough time. Chirrut, I think they also did a pretty good job. Now the face looks a little bit off on me on this one to me. It's more just the expression that they've given him looks a little funny to me, but otherwise I think it's pretty good. I like the black hair, and skin tone is okay on this one. And then he's got this soft goods piece that comes down. You've got black, and then you've got the red stripe with some lighter gray color here, which I think that looks good. And then on this side, you've got the red. Again, this is soft goods. And then on the back, this piece is a harder rubbery type plastic. It is a separate piece. Same with the harness and everything. And I like the sculpting detail there. And then he's just got the black shirt. He's got some sculpting detail down the left arm here. Not really sure what this is supposed to be, but it's movie accurate and looks pretty good. You got some red. Then on this side, you just see his hand, and you can kind of see some of the skin of his arm, which I like that. He's got these a little piece on his belt here that are, again, soft goods. And then he's just got the pants, which are done with black, but I like the wrinkles and everything that they've sculpted in it. So these figures stand, but Baze stands just a little bit over 6 inches, almost 6¼ inches tall, and then Chirrut stands just a little bit under 6 inches. So I think the scale between these two figures is pretty good. And here's a comparison with the other Rogue One teammates. So we've got Cassian Andor, Jyn Erso, and K2SO. And again, I think the scale between all of these is pretty good. And then finally, here's a comparison with the Black Series Imperial Death Trooper and Scarif Stormtrooper. So for articulation, starting with Baze, you can turn the head to the left and to the right. Really doesn't have a whole lot of back and forth movement. He can look down a little bit, about that much, and then he can look straight ahead, but he really can't look back at all. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good. He's got good rotation there. He does not have a bicep swivel, but does have a swivel at the elbow. Single hinged elbow, but can bend his elbow still pretty good. And then it's got swivels at the wrists and has hinges on the hands, so he does have up and down movement with the hands. Has a midsection joint here, so he's got rotation there at the midsection. Really can't crunch down or look back, though, at the midsection. Does not have a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, but can only do the splits about that much. Can get his leg forward about that much. This pouch here does limit some of the forward movement of the left leg. And same with the right leg. You've got this pouch here, so that limits some of that movement. Can get the leg back pretty good. Has a thigh swivel. Has a double hinged knee, so good bending there at the knee. And then has hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement. And does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Sure, he can turn his head to the left and to the right, and he can look down pretty good. And he can look back a little bit, but not too much. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good. Has good rotation. Single hinge elbow. Does have the rotation at the elbow and can bend his elbow about that much. Has swivels at the wrist and hinges on the hand, so has up and down movement with the hands. Has a midsection joint, so you've got rotation at the waist there. Can crunch forward a little bit, but not too much, and can crunch back a little bit or look back a little bit, but again, not too much. You can also pivot to the left and right there at the waist. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg forward pretty good, and he can do his leg out and back pretty good. Has a thigh swivel. double hinged knee, so good bending at the knee, and then has the hinges on the feet, so up and down movement, and does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I like both of these figures. I think if you've been collecting the Rogue One Black Series figures, these are both ones you're going to want to add to your collection. These figures are available now. You can get them at places like Big Bad Toy Store. I'll have a full image gallery up at JediInsider.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description below. And until next time, I'll catch you later.